Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Pastor Roland. I'm here to talk to you about important things. I have a library of books, wonderful books about religion. I have many Bibles. I have Bible dictionaries, Bible prophecy books. I have a lot of books on Christian mysticism and books about contemplative prayer, for example. Many wonderful books on psychology. So I have a wonderful library full of books. And of course, I've written 18 books myself. If I were going to read a book, I would want to read my own book first. That's how good they are. But now, the reason I say that is because you notice that I don't have any book that I'm reading from. I don't have any notes. I haven't pre-planned what I'm going to say. But what I want to say is something that would be of help to you, possibly of help to you. Some people are receptive to the truth and some people are not. People who are very guilty, are not at all receptive to the truth until their errors, their willfulness, their anger, their resentment, their judgment toward other people, their selfishness, their pride gets them in so much trouble, financially, health, relationships, you name it, not to mention spiritually, that they have to cry uncle. That's an old expression, to cry uncle. In other words, to cry out for help. See, I give. I give. Okay? And then a lot of people are very busy trying to save themselves. Yes, they're trying very hard through good works and through studying the Bible and studying religious books, and they're trying to save them, trying to make themselves good and look good and sound good, and see. And those people also are not receptive to the truth, because the truth with a capital T is that you can't study your way to God. As a matter of fact, study tends to build pride. See, and the act of even the process of studying, of sitting around and looking at and getting into a book, it's hypnotic. It's hypnotic. And the hypnotic state is not a state where you can find God. See, you didn't know that. Nobody ever taught you that. See, the most important things that you need to know, nobody taught you. You can't find God in hypnotic state. The hypnotic state is the fallen state. It talks about humans being fallen, walking in darkness, and being lost, being misled, and being deceived. You read that. Open up your Bible to any page, especially in the New Testament. That's the hypnotic state. Okay? Where your consciousness is captive, led captive by something on the outside. And to it you become fixated. Okay? And then through it, your behavior is directed. Suggestions are implanted. See? That's the hypnotic state. And it's reinforced. See? So the whole people are walking around in hypnotic in a trance state. See, the trance state is not distinguishable from, except in certain cases. You can see it, or I can see it. An astute person can see it, but most of the time you can't see it at all. The hypnotized person doesn't look hypnotized, but they do foolish things. They do counterproductive things. They do dysfunctional things. They do self-defeating things. They eat the wrong food. They marry the wrong person. They take the wrong job. See, they have wrong ideas. Wrong ideas that they follow and proselytize. And it leads them and others to ruin, folly, destruction. See? Wrong ideas. So you wonder, why you see reasonably intelligent people doing the wrong thing, taking drugs or following the wrong person, marrying the wrong person, having goofy ideas, behaviors that are dysfunctional. You wonder why. It's because they're in a hypnotic state. They're in a hypnotic state. But it's not, the trance state is not distinguishable from the aware state. So it's a lower way of being. So what is needed is to wake up. To wake up from the trance state. Now sometimes people wake up the morning after the night before, for example. You wake up the morning after the night before and you say, "Oh my God, what did I do that for?" See? Or sometimes you're very fortunate. You're involved with someone and then all of a sudden you see something. He says something or she says something or he or she does something, and all of a sudden you see in a lightning flash, you see the evil look in their eye, or you see the deceit or the lie. There it is. You see it, and that saves you. Seeing that deceit, that little lightning flash observation, saves you. See, now you take a step back and you say, "Now wait a minute. Maybe I shouldn't give that person my money. Maybe I shouldn't be having a relationship with that person. Maybe I shouldn't be following that person. See?" And then that is how you're safe. Other people continue to follow that person or get involved with that person to their destruction. But you, in a moment, you saw. Okay? So you see how you were saved by that wordless insight? Well, that wordless insight is it wakes you up to see. All of a sudden you see what a person is really like. Okay? You don't judge them, you don't hate them. You just see that there's something wrong. So you may not even know what it is that's wrong with that person. See, another thing, sometimes you meet somebody and they say, "Oh, let's go do this or that," but somehow you sense, you have a wordless hunch. What do they say? Trust your intuition, trust your gut. There's something not quite right about what the person is saying, or something odd, something doesn't fit, and you can't even say exactly what it is, but you just see that and you have to trust that, and then you're safe. See? So religion then is true religion. True religion is waking up from the hypnotic trance state in which most people live their entire life. See? Waking up from it. Now, like I said, sometimes people get a wake-up call. Person's not living properly. They're angry, they're rushing around, they're trying, they're willful, see? Or for whatever reason, then they end up having a big heart attack. Or they're not living properly and they're eating the wrong food and everything, and then they have some other health issue. It's a wake-up call. Potentially a wake-up call. Some people don't wake up. See? Or they go to someone and said, "Oh, there, you can't help it. It's not because of your lifestyle. It's simply it's a disease." See? So that person it takes on the role of the hypnotist to reassure you. See? Reassure you back into your trance state where you feel okay about the way you are. Then they offer some palliative thing, but without really waking up and really seeing the cause of your issue and realizing it has something to do with your resentments, your anger, your judgment toward others, toward your father, toward someone, toward your husband, your wife. See? Not realizing that sort of thing, then people tell you, oh, you're okay just the way you are. They hand you a marijuana cigarette or they give you a pill. They say it's not your fault, it's somebody else's fault. Okay? So then they reassure you back into the comfort zone, back into the hypnotic trance. And then you follow them. See, they take over as the hypnotist. Before you were following someone else's advice, which was leading you to ruin. Now you follow them. But they're operating as a hypnotist. So they either they don't have the truth themselves, they don't know the truth, they're faking, just acting the role of authority, wearing the right out uniform and saying the right kind of things to put you back to, so you follow them as an authority, or they do know the truth but they withhold it from you. See? So coming back to reality is waking up from the hypnotic trance. See, animals are either awake or asleep. They're either awake or asleep. A cat is either awake or asleep. A dog is either awake or asleep. But a human being can either be awake, asleep, awake, or awake and aware. See? We have that higher capacity of being aware. And if you are aware, you're closer to God. You're not hypnotized. You're out of the hypnotic state. See? The hypnotized person is awake. They're not aware. They're awake and they're hypnotized. From one thing to another, grabs their attention. And holds their attention and programs them. But the aware person stands back, takes a mental step back. Instead of being involved in things, emotionally involved and emotionally reactive, that person takes a step back, has a bit of an impassive attitude. The French call it la belle indifférence. Okay. And so impassive, neither for nor against, simply standing back and observing, an observant attitude, aware, the watching, observing. And that person is closer to the light. The more aware you are, see, you're closer to truth. And the more aware and the closer you are to truth, you're closer to God's light, truth, and you're closer to God. So the aware person becomes more and more aware, increasingly more aware. Whereas the hypnotized person descends. See, it's very fitting when they talk about hypnosis, descending to deeper trance states. The hypnotized person fluctuates between lighter trance and deeper trance. See, but as life goes along, it gets deeper and deeper. Okay. So now, if you have, for example, if you have a conscience still, if you're mean to somebody and you feel bad, if you're impatient with your children and you see that there's something wrong with being impatient, if you resent someone, you see there's something wrong with it, well, that's your conscience. It's wordless. Remember I talked about a wake-up call? Remember I said somebody has a heart attack and it's a big wake-up call? Or remember I said that a person, you suddenly see something about a person that alerts you to be careful, stand back, don't get involved. See? It's a wake-up call. Well, your conscience is a wake-up call. It gives you little wake-up calls all the time. See? When you're not living properly. It wakes you up. But you know what? You tend to disregard your conscience or to resent it because it makes you feel bad. See, if you followed your conscience all the time, then you would be like Enoch, who walked with God, or Elijah, Moses. See, David loved God. Paul. See, people like that. And so you would thereby not be hypnotized. You'd be aware. See, Paul was aware. David was aware. Christ was the most aware of all. And he talked to the scribes and the Pharisees. He said, unless your righteousness exceeds that of the scribes and Pharisees, you cannot enter the kingdom of heaven. So their righteousness was what? Study, memorize, learn. knowledge, see, religious knowledge. But you see what it did? All it did was hypnotize them and kept them locked into a lower way of living. So, now you see what I have to offer here. That's why I have my meditation. The purpose of the meditation is to help you to wake up, to come out of your trance, to become more aware, to come out of your daydreams and your fantasies where you hide. When you fail in reality, see, because of the hypnotic programming, people program you to eat this and do that and say this, and see, you follow the tried and true path of other people that doesn't lead you to your true path, the one that God would have you to follow. And then you feel guilty and anxiety because you're not living right. And then what? Then you escape into you hide in daydreams. See, fantasy. Or you use video games and texting and things like that to distract you. See? All right, so now you got the idea. Now you see why you should see. And when you're aware, then you flow. You're in the present. See, I'm living in the present, and I'm flowing in the present. As you can see, I'm not reading a book. I don't have prepared notes or anything. I'm flowing, and I'm saying something that's really good, really helpful, potentially helpful, if you have an ear to hear, and you're ready. See. Some people eventually will find salvation. They will come to the truth eventually, perhaps after they hit rock bottom. When they're laying in the gutter, see, then a few people will then cry out, God, help me. Why am I here? Hey, what am I doing wrong? How am I missing the boat? See, they cry out for truth. Their cry is sincere. Okay? But some people, when they hit rock bottom, well, then they either feel sorry for themselves, or they blame others, or they're looking for something to save their ego, save their pride, or something to comfort them. See? But some people cry out for truth. Okay? And so, if you're ready, see, this could be I'm like a talking conscience. See, I'm telling you what your conscience would tell you. If I'm putting words to it, your conscience is wordless. I'm putting words to what is wordless. See? So if you hear me, then it's like a gentle, you know how conscience is very delicate, knocking on the door of your mind. It doesn't force you to do anything. It just gently reminds you of things. That's what I'm doing. I'm reminding you that the best things in life are not things. Have you ever heard that expression? The best things in life are not things. We all know what's important. When you were a little child, a little tiny child, you were closer to God then than you have been ever since. You were closer to the light. You weren't hypnotized yet. You were close to the light. You knew that love and kindness and love and understanding and patience, you knew those things were important, didn't you? You did. You did know it. But then you forgot. So you need the Prince of Peace, like Sleeping Beauty, Prince, to give her the kiss to awaken her. See, you need the kiss from the Prince of Peace to awaken you. See, to awaken you to life, to happiness, to restoration and renewal and purpose and all the good things that you've always hoped for all your life. They really do exist. Okay? All you need to do is to search for them, and then to honor your conscience, acknowledge your conscience whenever it makes you aware of something. Whenever your conscience makes you aware of something, to thoughtfully consider it instead of resenting it. See? My name is Pastor Roland.